There's so many content creators now. It's beyond oversaturated, it's extremely competitive, and more people are flooding in every day. So rather than solely competing in this oversaturated market, it might be more beneficial to ask yourself, what is something I can do, start, or offer that directly benefits from more content creators all starting to compete against each other and try to get popular on social media. Now, an example of this would be an editing service. Another example of this might be a service that goes to people's houses and sets up a YouTube studio for them, because a lot of new YouTubers don't understand how to do that. They also don't understand what equipment is best for beginners, intermediates, and more advanced people as well. You could charge something like $1,000 flat fee. You could help them set up the studio and also recommend equipment that they need and help them order it on their dollar. Yet another example of this would be the influx of people that are flooding into dropshipping. Now, again, like we covered before, this is mainly due to the fact that it's super easy to start and run, therefore it can be replicated by anyone. So rather than compete against everyone else, it might be better to ask yourself what you can do, offer, or build that will directly benefit from this oversaturation of dropshippers. A perfect example of this might be to build a software or a Chrome extension like ZDrop or List Perfectly, which I always recommend. Another example of this might be to license the best products that you find, right? Sell product lists for hot selling products. And finally, the last example of this is the fact that everyone, especially young kids now, are flooding into the make money online space. It seems like everyone's dream now is to become a multi-million-dollar TikTok influencer that makes their money online, travels the world, and has tons of followers. And so rather than trying to compete in that oversaturated market that's inevitably going to see millions of people fail, it might be better to ask yourself, what can I do, offer, or build that will directly benefit from the oversaturation of people trying to make money online? And a no-brainer answer here is to go back to maybe the tried and true method of making money offline. We're already seeing examples of this from industry to industry. For example, in Australia currently, there's an overabundance of lawyers and doctors, since that was a desirable high-paying job that people aspired to do. And now there's a shortage of skilled laborers and blue-collar workers that can ultimately demand more money for their jobs. Keep in mind, I haven't done any research specifically into any specific business models to recommend for you, but I'd be willing to bet that if you started a service-based business of some kind offline in the coming years, it would be much less competitive than ever in the coming decades, as more and more business owners retire and not as many young people are popping up to fill that void. I'd also be willing to bet that normal 9-to-5 jobs that might have been more appealing like 10 to 20 years ago will have much lower interest and much lower competition in the coming decades, as more and more young kids are trying their hand at making money online. So these are just my thoughts on thinking differently, asking yourself better questions, and not following everyone else blindly into a red ocean of hungry sharks. That is not to say that you can't succeed in any business like this. Again, I want to hit home that there's a reason these are so competitive. It's because they work. I just want to touch on the opportunity out there to come at things from a different angle and maybe start to play more chess and less checkers.